They ruled from the shadows, feared by presidents, hunted by the FBI, and worshipped by criminals. But behind the Hollywood glamour of The Godfather and Goodfellas lies a darker, bloodier truth. A real-life empire built on violence, betrayal, and unimaginable power. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the real Godfathers. And trust me, the movies barely scratched the surface. From the slums of Sicily to the skyscrapers of New York, the Mafia's rise to power is a tale of blood, loyalty, and betrayal. Today, we explore the real stories behind the men who became legends. Lucky Luciano, Al Capone, Carlo Gambino, and the terrifyingly brilliant Paul Castellano. Get ready, because the truth is more shocking than fiction. Before he became the architect of the American Mafia, Lucky Luciano was a street thug shaking down kids for pennies. But by the 1930s, he had masterminded the Five Families. Revolutionizing the mob. He didn't just break the rules, he rewrote them. He formed the Commission, a mafia board of directors, and declared open war on the old-school bosses stuck in the past. But his rise wasn't just built on brains. It was built on bodies. Luciano's betrayal of boss Joe Masseria and his setup of rival Salvatore Maranzano paved the way for a bloodless takeover, at least for him. While Luciano built empires, Al Capone built a war zone. Chicago in the 1920s was the Wild West, and Scarface was the undisputed king. At just 26, Capone was pulling in $100 million a year through bootlegging, gambling, and brothels. But Capone's temper was as famous as his wealth. The Valentine's Day Massacre, where his men executed 7 rivals in broad daylight, shocked America. Capone didn't care. He bribed judges, ran the police, and even gave turkeys to the poor to maintain a Robin Hood image. But in the end, it wasn't a bullet that brought him down. It was taxes. While Capone craved the spotlight, Carlo Gambino lived in the shadows. Soft-spoken, polite, and rarely photographed, Gambino was the ultimate puppet master. He rose from a Sicilian immigrant to the head of the most powerful crime family in America, without spending a single night in prison. His secret? Never show weakness, never talk, never get caught. Gambino made fortunes through labor racketeering, ports, and unions. All while smiling like your kindly grandfather. But he also ordered more than 100 murders without ever pulling the trigger himself. Castellano wasn't your typical mob boss. He saw himself more CEO than killer, running the Gambino empire from a mansion, wearing designer suits and banning drug dealing. But this made him enemies. His own soldiers thought he was weak, especially one rising star, John Gotti. In December 1985, Castellano arrived at Sparks Steakhouse in Manhattan and never left. 4 hitmen in trench coats opened fire in broad daylight. The hit was so clean.